Good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy, Joseph Rothschild, aka MBT, and we are live with the top 16 of the 5th week of the Master Circuit series. I'm so happy to be joined, as I have been all day, by my co-commentator, my partner in crime, Luke Von Karma. Danny, how are you doing today? He ain't here. Where'd he go? He's gone.
I'm here.
Ah, great. Excellent.
I was here the
lovely
whole
to have
time.
you. How are you doing?
Good. I'm excited for Top Cut. Very excited to see these, actually myriad of decks that are super cool.
Yeah, we'll just swoosh over real quick to the slide so you all can see what we're working with in this Top Cut. So as you can see, the dominant deck coming out of Swiss was Sprite Runic. I think probably no one is particularly surprised about that one, and that's because Sprite Runic was dominant all day. We saw it all over top tables, and it looked unbeatable.
Unreal. The deck is a huge powerhouse and has been shown in multiple games how not just winning games by slight margins, by huge ones.
That said, after that, the format's kind of up in the air. You can see we have 2 copies of Branded and 2 copies of Sword Soul, 2 decks that were good previously, but after that, it's just a bunch of one-ofs, and I'll be honest, a lot of these one-ofs are pet decks being piloted by extremely good duelists. Thunder Dragon by Mount Fuji, for instance, the Labyrinth deck piloted by I Wish I Was Dead. These strike me as unexplored strategies that have some game against Sprite Runic and the capacity to potentially take them down.
Yep. No, it's these are insanely cool and interesting decks that are very powerful in their own right. We've seen Sword Soul take crazy games, Despia, and even Thunder Dragon from Mount Fuji show a massive W's. So excited to see how they perform here.
We are actually going to see if Sword Soul can keep it up this round, because the match we are going to be watching is one of your subscribers, in fact. It's going to be Wolt, who is playing a deck that we watched last round, Punk versus Sword Soul. So we're just going to head over there right now.
Wow.
And check out this game.
Feels like a deja vu.
Yeah. It's like Sub Replay Friday came early.
All right, that's enough out of you.
Okay, well.
But I will say that Wolt has proven that Punk is such a cool and crazy powerful deck.
Yeah, no, we watched in Swiss Wolt go off with Psychic and Punisher, and one way to ensure that your life points are always lower than your opponent's is this Chicken Game, a card that is unique to Master Duel, not legal in the TCG. And the Maxi coming down on the activation of Shirakusai minigame. Defeated! Ash Blossom comes down in response. Okay, we are playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. Do not worry.
Yeah, what would you expect? That my subscribers wouldn't have the out?
Of course. It's just like Cup of Ace all over again. So, if you're unfamiliar, we do play Swiss in best of 1 format. But in Top Cut, we play in best of 3, and that means both of these individuals have brought side decks as well. Expect cheesy strategies to do a lot less good once they get to this stage. Unfortunately, one of the most consistent strategies in Best of 3 is Sprite Runic, and I am reticent to tell you they are all on opposite sides of the bracket. We could see 6 Sprite decks in the top 8.
Jeez Louise.
This is the only one that doesn't have a Sprite in it.
It's truly the test of, strongest warriors. Can they defeat the strongest Runic decks?
Yeah. Jam Dragon Drive adding Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit to hand. Gage at the YCS was playing a deck that made Jam Dragon Drive, and constantly he was just like, I should have played 1 Ghost Ogre. There's so many games where I just had everything and wanted to add a piece of interaction to my hand. Ghost Ogre pretty good against Gigantic Sprite.
It's incredible. It stops Gigantic. It stops the field spell. Oh.
All right, and now the flagship monster of this strategy, Pep Control. Can you defeat Psychic and Punisher?
Psychic and Punisher.
I'm glad he has an animation. I'll say that.
He deserves it.
So what you're seeing here is most likely, a Maxi fired off and draw. Punk is an incredible deep draw engine. It's a great way to just fire off a whole bunch of really powerful effects and get your deck thinner. So all you really have to end on is a card that demands a very specific out, and then you can just play hand trap control. It's a kind of strategy that we saw I Wish I Was Dead with playing with week 1 with like Ad Ignister, except Psychic End Punisher, in my opinion, is a much better card than the Arrival Cybersat Ignister. Much easier to make.
Yeah, no, this card is incredible. Coincidentally, also weirdly plays around triple tack.
Yep.
It's a battle phase effect, which is very relevant. You can't, because one of the things is, well, okay, it's a towers, but sort of, I'll walk over it. No, you won't.
You will not.
This guy, that's enormous.
Especially in Punk, where you're already paying so many life points.
And, you know, we saw it last time, and if Cody is on Sword Soul, which it seems likely off of the desires, which we know, it just does not have a clean out to this guy. Really.
Yeah, we theory crafted in the last one that like you could theoretically make Chang Ying, and that continuous effect maybe brings it down enough to interact with, but it seems unlikely when you go to battle and they're going to have, you know, a 3,000 attack point boost.
4,000 attack tacked on.
Oh my gosh. I gotta say, I really like this strategy. And one thing that I really like that you mentioned is triple tack. We saw that Maxi shotgunned in the draw phase, and that's because all day we have seen individuals running 3 copies of triple tack, punishing people who are daring to wait on a Maxi to try and cheese out an opponent to already commit to the board. It already wins the game, might as well fire it in draw and not get confiscation.
Yep.
So we're going through the monk line here. Vishutta, of course, can target the Pep, but while Wolt has less life points than his opponent, it's not going to be affected. Now, there is one way around all of this, which is if Cody goes below Wolt's 4,600 life point total, then he'll be able to affect the Psychic End Punisher. But that's almost impossible to do without getting to the battle phase, and if you do that, you're not just taking the 25 here. Right. You have to wait for Wolt to activate the effect of the Pep and maybe go up to like 7k. You'll take most of your life points, and at that point, any punk anything will clean your clock.
And it also forces you to use the battle phase. Yep, there's the ogre on the Moye. Just weirdly enough, very relevant. I mean, unless you try and like, yeah, I was about to say circle is a decent out to the ogre, but it gets you your Shithana, but no Moye trigger. You're just, you're so sad as the Sword Soul player. There's just really nothing you can do here.
So we can go Dragon Circle, grab Sithana. We do get the token. We can special the Sithana. And then what 8 would you make?
Like nothing. I mean, here's the thing. You talked about it before. If you go to the battle phase and you try and get lower to get that Pep off the field, you've used your battle phase. Yep. And guess what? You're passing back to an opponent who resolved Max C.
9 cards in hand. And for what it's worth, while you can maybe try and cheese it out with like an evil long one, there's nothing preventing Wolt from just not activating Pep. If it's not threatened by something with higher attack, you could just wait. Like, they attack in, they take 25, and you go, well, that's not the difference. We are going to fire off the Dangerous Gabu here, targeting the Chi Xiao. Says, okay, don't add the Sword Soul card. You can stop there.
Yep. In archetype, pretty much imperm for the deck is really so nice.
Incredibly strong. Dangerous Gabu is one of those cards that's just like shockingly strong. We are going to go for the effect of the Pep. Goes to 69. Nice. We'll take 5,900 to put it low enough to actually activate the effect of the Sithana in order to pop it. But like you said, we're about to give them a main phase 2.
Yep. And while you do get to out the Psychic End Punisher here, I mean, I would not want to face down 7,000 cards here.
I guess you're technically in a winning position if you have exactly Longwan. You can just burn them out. That's like a really funny way to do it.
Oh.
Did we figure it out? Oh my God.
Here? That might be the line.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, we just shouldn't have activated Pep. That's, oh, never mind.
But we have the Gamma in hand.
Yeah, well, that was funny. Do we have the driver in hand as well?
Of course.
I drew 19 cards. Probably.
Good attempt. Good attempt. Good attempt.
All right, still kind of a weird position to be in if you are Wolt, because yes, your opponent is now functionally defenseless. They have a Chi Xiao and a Dream, but you've got 800 life points, and all of your stuff requires paying life points.
That is true. But we're going to be able to see the great effect of the extreme session to special from hand, which proves useful off the maxi.
Yeah. I imagine we've got a couple in there.
And some of those punks are big monsters.
Oh, speaking of big monsters,
right. We saw this game one.
Yeah, so after you clear the Pep, you have to deal with all of these blind second tools that Wolt is playing. Alpha, the Master of Beasts here, pretty much trades for the Blackout, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, no, because they're both worms.
I mean, you can negate the Alpha here.
But that's fine.
But yeah, that's fine. Then you got it. You negated you got the Chi-Chao.
You can you can normal a 3 that trades for the Blackout if you have it. And then from that position anything with over 1,000 attack clears off of the extreme session.
Yep.
Seeing a lot of Mr. Beasts in chat.
All right, well,
Second Pep Trust. I will tell you right now, I would guarantee that Wolt is playing 2 Pep.
That's the 600 damage. That's our last kind of effect off of the Z-Almond. Very dangerous here.
Foxy Tune looking good. Just another way to special summon cards.
Now, Foxy Tune's first effect to gain some life might come up here.
Cards like Dangerous Gabu actually are pretty good at gaining life. Whoa, is that another Pep?
Oh yeah, that's
Literally.
just.
Oh, whoa, even better.
Yep, just target.
It says that back row better be real good, pal.
That better be the best back row you've ever seen.
And nope. It's not. It's not.
And that's the
not
game.
Enough.
That's the game.
Oh, and Wolt looks like they're walking with a very clean game 1. There was a line where they lost, but resolving
very
with a Pep on board, too good. Woo. So we're going to go into a game 2 here, and they're going to sideboard a little bit. I don't want to reveal too much about the sideboard, but I will say between week 1 and week 5, we have seen an astronomical difference in sideboards. Early on, it looked like people were playing what they had, and now people are making like clear choices about the state of the metagame. I will say that I think Wolt's sideboard is mostly geared to beat, and this is going to shock you, Sprite Runic.
What?
I know.
That deck, it only has 5 decks in Top Cut.
Well, there's a 6th normal Sprite, but yes. They're playing a lot of really powerful generic going second tools, some really powerful generic going first tools as well. Whereas, shockingly, Cody has some really targeted stuff that will definitely do a lot of work against a punk strategy. Very flexible cards that have the ability, when going first, to accomplish a whole lot. They're just changing their decks right now and then jumping into game 2. The winner of game 1 will not be able to choose who goes first in game 2. We're doing it just like the TCG. It's not just coin flip, coin flip.
Yep. So I assume that Wolt will be going second.
Yeah, you would expect. But for what it's worth, Punk loves to go second just as much as it loves to go first. You're going to take 12 off of Longwan. That puts you low already. Fantastic news. I mean, I think there's even an argument to maybe like not activating Longwan if you hit it. You get to flex the power of the Amazing Dragon, which is one of the most powerful removal spells ever printed. Like I'm trying to think of monsters. Good. It's like past 2 Baxias. I mean, it's incredible.
And like, I know the original intention of the punks was to quick sync on your opponent's turn.
Yep.
To then make the Amazing Dragon and compulse like 3 cards. But here it's also just a great going second card.
For sure. And a lot of targeted cards at the minigame. I think we saw the minigame be game determinative in that first one, but it has been an interesting transformation watching people just play decks that are fiat good in TCG and just port them over to Master Duel and be like, this is good enough, to people specifically building for Master Duel, saying, okay, resolving Maxi is the best thing I could do in this format. How do I play a deck that most effectively allows me to do that? or a deck that punishes my opponent for doing that. And I think that's why we're seeing a lot of the Sprite Runic lines that you saw in matches like Trishula's, which we watched on stream, that included like the Herald line to put the Maxi back in hand after using it as part of material. It's why you're seeing decks like Wolt's duel that aim to like put back up to automatically win the minigame on field and then fire it and draw. Just a bunch of decks daring an opponent to engage with them on that axis.
And similar to the Sprite Runic game plan, because the deck just has so much draw power, it allows you to find, Max C, which is a huge game determinative card.
Mm-hmm. All right, they're just jumping in right now, performing the coin flip. Of course, coin flip does not matter at all. They're just going to decide independently. They'll jump in, and we will be ready to begin with Game 2. Looks like Cody is going to be going first. Wolt is going to be second. And as soon as they load in, we will send you over.
Wow. Exciting stuff. God, I love the punk cards. They're so cool.
They're neat. I wish we had more copies in Top Cut. I wish we had some time with Deer Note before Sprite came in. We didn't get Darkwind Blast.
Hard to try out the
Difo
punk deck when Sprite Runic's so powerful.
All right, Wolt up one game. Let's start a prediction. Who do you guys think is walking with this one?
For my money, it's got to be Wolt. I'm not biased.
You are legitimately biased. This is one of your subscribers. This was a member of Team LVK, huh? Should be noted, the winner of this game is probably going to be the last stand against Sprite. Thinking through the lines right here, that bodes well. If it was a brick or it was an easy hand, you would expect they would just jam it.
Yeah. Can't believe you pitted two non-Sprite Runic players together.
Well, we had to. Every other match has a Sprite Runic player in it.
No, this is you don't understand. This is the forced one. There was no choice.
Thank goodness that these two did clear, because otherwise we'd have nothing to watch.
I do like the longer we're here at this tournament, the more your brain gets a little mushed as we watch another Sprite Runic game.
Oh, my brain started as mush.
Yeah, it's true.
At this point, when I see someone go Fountain 1, Hugin 2, it's nothing to me. It's like water off my back. I've developed a specific type of selective object permanence where I just do not pay attention to it.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Man, they're really thinking about this line.
Yeah.
As is their right. No time in Top Cut, by the way.
So my only guess is that they have a lot of tenyis. And whenever you have a lot of tenyis, you have to think carefully off of starting off your plays with like Moye or something, because if you cut off your line to special summon, it stops like your entire hand.
Apparently, during week 3 when Duelogs was hosting, he and Leo were just cooked at this point. That final, if you haven't watched it,
we've been in the trenches a long time.
Yeah, it's live on Duelog's channel, and it's really interesting. Shocking final. All right, game start.
Right, speak of the
Do
devil.
we have the Maxi? Oh, I'm seeing something.
No Maxi.
I feel like if we had it, we would be firing it in draw. I mean, Wolt is one to play around.
Right.
Triple tack.
Okay.
All right, Monk coming down. Normally,
I was going to say, you don't love to see the Adhara start.
Yeah, I guess I get it. This is a pretty easy Gamma if we have it, although I guess you can wait to get more information.
You can also
if they
ash
go like
this.
Moye. Yeah.
One of the best ashes besides Desires.
Just trying to read based on what they've had an opportunity to use here. You always love getting an Ash out on something like an Ecclesia because you really don't have very many options to Ash anything. The called by coming down, but if they had the activation timing earlier because the activation of the Adhara could have prompted something like a Gamma, this is a fantastic opportunity, a resolution to fire it at a point where it can't be interacted with. Ash Blossom, of course, would be the interaction, but now that card is negated even if the opponent has it.
Yep. No, you are completely correct.
Wolt is like, even if they do not have Gamma, they're playing representing it extremely well.
Yeah. And, your opponent's definitely scared of it. They've seen it last game.
And we're going for it. Banish Adhara. Ooh, that's a bleak one. So nothing else in hand is what we're telegraphing?
Yep. And there is the Gamma. That's rough as the Sword Soul player. You are forced to get Taya. That represents no worms in hand to get for Moye.
Yeah. So
and
there's not even like the
Adhara.
potential for a long one follow-up?
Yeah, because there's just no reason not to get Moye.
So I imagine leading with Adhara,
leading
with Adhara rather than just going Ecclesia first means that we do have the Blackout in hand already, right? Because otherwise, why would you go for the Monk here? Which means that we'll have something.
If you have Blackout in hand, that's an easy Moye target.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Absolutely get Moye and say, okay, that's fine. I'll set the Blackout and have that as my turn. At least I got Blackout.
Wow. All right. Well, that said, it's not over. If Cody has a Maxi, it's insulated from Ash this turn.
That is true.
If Wolt has Bricked, very possible in a deck with a lot of moving pieces, then it doesn't even really matter. Foxy Tuna, really good one.
Great one. And that resolves.
Oh, wow. Pitching a called
Pitching
by
the call by, as soon as you great
as soon as you
stuff.
see
like,
no,
you don't need it.
No Maxi, you say, done.
All right, great. I don't need this card. I know you don't have any interaction.
God, Extreme Session is such a neat card.
This is the card. This card. People talk about Deer Note. Deer Note's incredible.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Jam Extreme Session is a custom card. Incredible. Summoning the Foxy Tune here.
This is a weird way to do it. We're gonna go Extreme Session to special. I get it. Okay,
no.
So we
are doing some heinous.
This
stuff.
is not a great hand, but oh wait, it's lethal!
Oh my god!
No shot! You're playing this.
It's like I'm watching a duel live.
Oh my! Whoa! Is this sub replay Saturday? Oh my gosh! It's exact. It's 9K into 1,000.
Exactly lethal.
Oh wow! And Wolt says, "Yeah, that's good enough." What a game!
What
Wolt
a
on
game!
Punk will be advancing to the Sprite bracket. Good luck in the rest of these. I don't think they're going to let you Numeron Dragon, but oh my gosh.
Well,
what a weird hand.
Those 1-for-1 games when you start to just run out of resources with your opponent, those cards just clear.
They do. We are here with the man, the myth, the legend, Trishula. You are an accomplished streamer, an accomplished duelist. I believe you're actually part of the invitational that was announced a couple of days ago too, right?
I am.
How does one man get so good at Yu-Gi-Oh?
I don't know. Maybe by playing the game 10 hours a day and no lifing it.
Okay, well, you don't need to admit to that. We can just pretend that you're a natural talent.
No, definitely not natural. It does not come easy for me.
You've had a lot of successes in Yu-Gi-Oh over the last couple of years. Can you talk just a little bit about how you got into it and how you started playing competitively?
Yeah, I mean, I guess Yu-Gi-Oh's kind of always been part of my life. I used to go to Toys R Us on Sundays with my dad. He would just go and read the newspaper, and they would have these little small tournaments in what was effectively starter deck Kaiba and Yugi format. And when that stopped being a thing, I got introduced to a card shop by some of the people that were always there. And I was going to locals since Goat Control format, so it's kind of always been a part of my life. And then I picked it back up again when I was a teenager, and just never could let it go.
Incredible stuff. You are well known for not only being good at Yu-Gi-Oh, but also playing a lot on stream, where I believe you've just completed a Rookie to Diamond 1 climb.
Yeah, not just one. We did, I think, about 7 or 8 Rookie to Diamond 1 climbs last month. Pretty much every deck in the metagame. I've kind of got the game down to a science now where, I can build pretty much any deck in the game in about 90 minutes from account creation. You know, kind of weird to admit that I've played this game that much, but yeah, I mean, I just absolutely love the game and just love, you know, playing and showing people that there's so many viable strategies, especially on Master Duel.
So your most successful one of these runs was with Sprite Runic, but what deck do you like playing the most on Master Duel?
Oh my god, I mean, Dragon Link is still very alive on Master Duel. That deck has been my that deck has been my baby ever since day one. You know, I still got all 3 of my strikers. I got my Chaos Ruler. Please unban him, Konami. But yeah, I love that deck so much.
And is that potentially what you're playing today?
Might be. It might be. I guess you have to find out. Hopefully I don't disappoint people.
And if we want to find out, where can we find you online?
You can always find me at Trishula TTV on Twitch. I'm live almost every day, and I stream for obnoxiously long hours. I think my average stream length is like 10 hours. So if you just check on the channel, chances are I'm probably live.
All right. Thanks so much for being with us. Best of luck on today's run. And any other shout outs or anything you want to throw out there?
Well, of course, shout outs to the MCS series and shout outs to the Mr. Mono Bluetron himself for having me on for this interview.
Hello, everybody. It's time once again to watch some Master Circuit Series. We are in the top 8 of our beautiful tournament, and I am joined by my beautiful partner, Luke Von Karma, a.k.a. Danny. How are you doing today? He's gone again. Can you believe that? What an unbelievable slouch. Well, no big deal. I will pick up the slack because we have a fantastic match for you today. As I mentioned last time, there was a real possibility that we didn't get out of this round without 6 sprites advancing to the top 8. I'm happy to report that that did not happen. The number of sprites in top 8 is...
How many?
2. 1 Runic, 1 Pure. They all lost.
One.
In fact,
so flatly, like they lost.
Our top 8 is 8 different decks.
That's amazing.
Punk, Exosister, Branded, Sprite Runic, Thundra, another branded deck, so I literally lied, and the match we're watching, Labyrinth versus Sprite Pure. I'm going to send you over there momentarily. It's between 2 individuals that we have watched a lot. I Wish I Was Dead playing Labyrinth versus Tasty playing Sprite.
Wow. This is the pure Sprite you said?
This is the pure Sprite, yes.
Wow. Well, let's jump in.
No, they have to get there first. In fact, they're the only ones who aren't there already.
They're in.
Oh. Literally lying. Still lying to his audience.
Still lying.
Could someone please tell MBT that I Wish I Was Dead is activating Eradicator Epidemic Virus?
Bro, can you give me a heads up when you start, please?
Oh, my goodness.
Instead of just going,
No,
all I see are a bunch of mod checks.
All right, so I Wish I Was Dead is going first and opened just everything. Lord of the Heavenly Prison and 2 EEVs off of that bad boy. We're going to begin with a Lord effect, then we're going to set 3 and pass. Love to see it, folks. So Labyrinth in Master Duel plays radically differently than it plays in the TCG. It doesn't have access to Silver Lady, and for that reason is way less explosive, way less consistent. Instead, it plays much lower to the ground, and as I Wish I Was Dead has been doing all day, plays a series of cards that are exceptionally frustrating to play against the viruses.
Love to see the Skull King scent engrave.
Fossil Skull King is like Entis, but delayed.
Sorry, Skull Knight.
Yeah, so in scenarios where you don't immediately need Entis, you can send it and potentially get a better Entis later on. Here we're going to use Lord to set a card, and then ideally we'll do what we've been doing all day, which is activating either a Trap Trick or a copy of Deck Devastation Virus. Once we do that, the game might just be straight up over.
Yeah, because I was watching I Wish I Was Dead do this insanely crazy play to another Sprite player, but seeing it again, it's crazy that because you can't like win the game immediately on the crackback, but it just puts you ahead for so long that it's just unreal.
Whoa! Oh,
Whoa.
no, and summoning the Lord is going to put him at a devastating weakness to Harpy's Feather Duster.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Not looking good.
We've seen so little of this card today, but here it's
Oh.
just game determinatively strong.
Jeez Louise.
Skill Drain, Trap Trick, Compulse, 3 good ones. Passing back, though. Wow.
Okay. Well, it's not the worst. It really depends on these last 2 cards in hand.
I mean, I guess we should have expected that it wasn't a particularly good hand because it led with normal summon Carrot.
Right, yeah.
Oh, and that's a pretty good activation.
That's a
I'd expect an Ash
fantastic
out of
one.
the opponent because they have to be
Right.
breaking on something.
Freaking on some kind of hand trap.
No.
Nope. Nope.
Well, could be one of the hand traps that's dead in this matchup. Things like Maxi.
Oh, Lord. Duality is a great one again. Oh, that's you. If you're tasty, you're just horrified seeing that Eradicator.
This is actually a pretty difficult one.
Yeah, I mean, definitely don't want to take Extrav, but Goes In is also really good.
Huh.
All right.
Going for the Goes In.
Understandable. Understandable pick.
The thing about Virus is, like, Virus is really good against the Runic build. But, like, if your opponent was on Runic, they would have had plays that first turn. So I think you can, like, get them on not being on that.
Yeah.
Here we just get to set Goes In and Labyrinth. Labyrinth, a royal rare. How beautiful.
Ooh. We still have that Skull Knight if anything becomes a problem.
The card in hand is... It's a trap card. If the card in hand is
It's something.
Welcome, it would have to be the drawn card, because you'd imagine that you would set the Welcome. Could be a trap trick that we just elected not to activate. No, because then we would have gone for deck dev. It's
For
a
sure.
thinker. The Goes In, of course, is set. Goes In interacts with the Labyrinths in a weird way. I believe it actually doesn't trigger them, even though it says you send the cards.
Yeah, because it's like a game condition, right?
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't trigger because they're
that's
not a
the
normal
best
trap.
one.
Okay, I'm a genius. Welcome Labyrinth coming down, and Maxi drawn off the top of the deck, or at least, you know, kind of sitting in hand. That's completely
I mean,
fine,
you're
right?
so okay with this.
Says, okay,
if
draw
you're-
one. Enjoy it.
Wish I was dead. Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna not only pop your red or back row, whatever I want, but also have Lovely in rotation.
I imagine you pop the red here. I mean, it's just too nice to not.
It's just too
Oh,
good.
she blinks in the animation. That's so cute.
It's very cute. Yeah, I mean, if this is pure Sprite, I mean, blanking the normal summon 2 is so good.
All right, we're
Yep,
going
and
to
now we
grab a
get
card
to-
from the hand,
yeah.
probably.
Just crazy.
We'll see, though.
Which trades for that maxi draw, so you don't even care.
I just love that it doesn't target, by the way. Like, if they chain something like a starter here, you just take the monster.
Yeah. So you have to say, please just don't hit the guy I need you to hit.
That's the guy.
That's the guy.
That's the guy.
I mean, we would need our normal
Yeah, we would
for
need
this
our
guy,
normal, yeah.
but if you have a second water or aqua or water aqua in hand, then you're very sad.
And this is like your last opportunity to be in the game too, because if you pass
Yep.
back, yeah, you just get to use Lovely Labyrinth to set a card every turn. And this is where Labyrinth just like gets to be exceptionally annoying. Like, I Wish I Was Dead got Harpy's Feather Dustered and is about to set a second trap, recur a third one. It's just like, geez, when does it end?
Yep. Even just that punishment on that carrot seemed like it was just enough. And this is where Sprite Pure shows its weakness the most, right? Because like, you know, when Sprite Pure with Toad was in the TCG, I mean, one of the most important things obviously was, well, blank there too. Then they can't play the game.
All right, they're at 5 here, so that set card's got to be starter if they don't want to die.
Oh my god, setting trap trick, you gotta be kidding me. Not that it matters. It is game here unless this is something. Yep, there we go.
Pretty quick game one, but that's kind of how it aims to be with Labyrinth, right? It plays on a different axis than the rest of the decks in the format, and for that reason you're expecting to dead a certain amount of cards in the opener. You can imagine in a mirror, for instance, that Maxi might have been game-winning. Here, of course, it was just another part of a long brick. Too many normals out of the Sprite player, and one of the reasons why people are playing Runic, it's just so much better to be able to go, okay, my spell card that's removal also happens to be an instant fusion.
Exactly. Yep.
Poll going up right now for who's going to win. You've got a minute on it. They're sideboarding, and let me tell you, if you're the Labyrinth player, you don't want to see a sideboard. Like, you're expected to win game 1 because your opponent has like 30% of their deck dead. Games 2 and 3, oh god. I can tell you right now, I think that I Wish I Was Dead's opponent is going to side in probably at least half of this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of really interesting stuff in the board. I Wish I Was Dead, of course, no slouch as well. Has a lot of tools for going both first and second, ways to shore up problem matchups. I imagine we'll see those as well. But if you're I Wish I Was Dead, you know, this is a matchup that you were expecting. You've tested it against extensively. Inversely, if you are the Sprite player, maybe you didn't have an eye on Labyrinth, and you might be at a little bit of a loss.
Yeah, no, this is definitely one of the sleeper decks that is definitely one of the scariest to fight because it's just not something you fight against at all often.
Yeah. Looks like we are getting some results in already.
Wow.
Looks like Jush is up 1 versus Flavioke. And we'll just have to see how that goes.
Yep.
So of the ones remaining, I'm really shocked to see Branded Despia having a better day than Sprite. Like, there were 8 total Branded Despia pilots, and 2 of them are in top 8.
Wasn't this the case in our first MCS where we did not see much Branded Despia in Swiss, but in the top cut, the only 2 made it so far.
Yeah.
And then ended up winning, of course.
I mean, the ceiling on that thing is crazy. Playing it optimally is so difficult if you're playing the all-gas version, and it's no surprise that you see kind of the same names gravitating towards the top.
Mirror Jade is crazy.
Mirror Jade does go a little brazy, I'm not going to lie. You know who else goes brazy? Is Masquerade.
Masquerade. God. We've talked about it a bunch, but having a card that has chain energy on it is just so insane.
It's, if nothing else, it's very funny.
It makes me laugh every single time.
All right, looks like they are loading into the game now. They're doing some coin flipping. Do you think Tasty will go first?
You just can't let Lab go first. Like, you just cannot. Even if you're trying to meta game and mind game them and be like, oh, I'll make you go first. Now you're going second, cards are dead. You just can't risk it because there's just too many good, like set 5 pass is just so insanely strong. You can't risk it.
On one hand, you can be like, well, the sweepers for going second, the lightning storms, the harpies, feather dusters, the evenlies, stuff like that. They're so good that you might want to bait them into just setting 5. There's no pressure on you and wait until you find one. But there is pressure on you because I Wish I Was Dead plays the virus cards. And if he finds those, that's the end of the game, as we just saw.
Yep. You are absolutely correct, sir.
All right.
Okay.
And no minigame. Wow.
Love to see this little beaver. Some of the other beaver here.
Nimble Beaver is such a little cutie.
He's a little cutie. Love him. You know, I have seen some people on ladder playing the angler.
What do you mean?
Like they're on the nimble package, but they're still like on angler to like send it somehow, maybe like off foolish or something. I'm not sure. Don't know why they're playing.
Sprint.
Right. When we eventually get sprint, that's the best target. But I was shocked to see.
Do we not have sprint?
No, we don't have sprint. Could you imagine? No, that's the why I think pure sprite will do so. Like when I was playing sprite in TCG, constantly it was like you could see the desperateness for people for a 2. At the YCS in Niagara, people were looking for I think it's called Ghibli the Storm or something. Or
yeah, it was a Blackwing.
Gust or something. It was like a Blackwing that could summon itself, and people were so desperate for it. And then as soon as sprint came out, no more consistency problems. The deck just goes. Not that it had much of a consistency problem before, but you understand what I'm saying.
There's no shortage of 2s that summon another 2 from deck.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm seeing some people say you can, like, pitch it off of Swap Frog in the hand, and that's fun, but... Uh-oh. Okay, well, this is disastrous. Mannequin Cat.
You know, we've seen some sick Mannequin Cats off of people like Trish and Summoning Ryo. Love to see those cards. They prove how powerful Mannequin Cat is.
I'll be honest with you, there is not... This Mannequin Cat is in the main, and the targets for it are all on the side, and they are... Wow, they're shocking.
Is there like a card you can summon that stops like trap cards? Can't really think of anything really.
Yeah, there is.
Uh-oh.
I could think of one in particular.
Oh, I forgot. There's one guy.
The Android Psychic Shocker,
There's
the
a
Team
little
APS.
Android man.
The weirdness here is that, like, it's an onboard trick, right?
Yeah.
You can Mannequin Cat in a funny way if you give your opponent an Eebly, but if you don't, you're just kind of hoping that they run into it, which seems pretty unlikely.
Yeah, and one of the stipulations for Mannequin Cat is that a monster has to be special summoned, and we're not doing that immediately. I don't know why my brain just completely forgot about Jinzo. I was like, no, I can't think of anything. It's been a long time since I've seen the machine, man.
I will say Mannequin Cat is responsible for some of the funniest sideboard techs in the history of time, I guess I would say. Frequently people were like legitimately registering End of Anubis, Invader of Darkness. We've seen T-King Ryo in a ton of main boards.
T-King's just such a power card.
This is a good card, but you're never going to get it out of your hand.
Well, that's a good start.
That's a fantastic start, yeah.
Labyrinth means that we can always represent something if it resolves, but we are going to negate it with the carrot.
If I wish I was dead lays down the second Labyrinth, I will cry. Oh, wait, he doesn't even have to. We just set 5 and wait.
Oh, true.
Yep.
Okay, but what if he set the Labyrinth instead of activating? I know one of those is welcome. So obviously the key here is getting rid of Mannequin Cat before it summons some kind of heinous card, if they're on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's a way to do it. If you shotgun the welcome, then they have to fire a carrot here, tributing the Mannequin Cat, right? If you never give them an opportunity. Right. Yeah, it looks like that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we are going to test them on it.
Well, that's as bad as it gets.
That's as bad as it gets, yeah. Had to have something. I mean, had a lot of cards in hand. A little expected, but...
Going Trap Trick here? That's a hard one. And you can force the Mannequin Cat here by getting like a Compulse. Or I guess you would get...
What do you get here? But Carrot is our last guy.
Punishment?
I don't know.
Deck Dev.
I mean...
That's
can't
interesting.
Activate this trap card.
So... Wow, this is really hard. So we go Deck Dev, or we go Lord. They go Maxi.
Yeah.
And then on Summon, we have Mannequin Cat available. They go Mannequin Cat, we go Deck Dev, they go Carrot?
Yeah. I mean, the Carrot checks the trap trick. Maybe you just don't. I don't know. Doesn't seem good.
Oh,
Did we already fire Carrot? We didn't fire Carrot.
No, we didn't.
What are you talking about? They have not done that.
Oh, Danny. Chat.
Yeah, they ashed it. Silly goofballs.
Which way does time go again? Forwards. All right, we're going for the mannequin cat.
All right.
Do we have an out? Deck dev.
There's the deck dev.
If the set card is imperm, this is the greatest play ever. Otherwise, I have no
can't
idea what the plan
activate it.
is.
Maybe droplet? No.
Oh, you know what's funny? It will actually blank the mannequin cat anyway. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's not on the field. He no longer has a type and attribute. Oh, that's adorable. If we had targeted the Ariana, we would have been fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't have to target the monster that was special summoned. That's really interesting. That said,
No, that
we're
is
probably dead here.
tutus. Yeah.
It's like, wow, what an interesting interaction. All right, game 3.
All right. We load it up. Hey, what if we pixies so that we can walk over the Ariana? Oh my god. They're on Gamma Burst.
They're living in the future, so the present is my past.
Oh my god. The president's past. The past.
The present, the past, the past.
This is going to be a, what is this? 46 gigantic?
Disastrous.
Oh my god.
It's actually Jover. Yeah, and we're trap trick locked, right?
Yep, we are.
Yeah, this is the end of the game.
Biden blast. No, you do not have the other swap in hand.
Sure. Chat saying Cat Shark. We don't need Cat Shark.
Yeah, we don't need Cat Shark. We have Gamma Burst.
Far beyond
better.
Cat Shark.
We got better Gamma. We got better Cat Shark. It might not be over. I wish I was dead. Says my opponent could have a stroke before battle phase.
That is, actually, that's shockingly true. Did you
is
know that?
Very true.
That's like shockingly true. Mr. Verizon, cut the line.
Cut the line. There's no reason for this guy, Cav.
Absolutely unnecessary.
Just
Big
just
bumbers.
beefy boys. Ow.
Who could have
Well,
seen
that's
this
game
coming?
2.
All right, that's to be expected. And then game 3 will probably be decided on if they draw a bunch of those like big sweepers that automatically beat back row decks.
Yep.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh.
You know, I was going to say, I almost said I love Yu-Gi-Oh, but then you said it.
But I do, but I love it so much.
Are we in top 8? We are. Okay. Let me change your title.
What'd I say, top 16?
No, you're still on top cut. Oh, no.
We are literally in top cut.
True, but yeah,
You're a
you're right.
stinker.
You're good, actually.
You're a
I was
stinky
going to make
dinky.
like top 8 or whatever.
Stinky dinky.
It's fair.
So, chat, place your votes now. I think you already placed your votes. Will I Wish I Was Dead draw a virus card and win on turn 0? Will Tasty draw a sweeper and win on turn 1? All up to you. We FTK with virus. We'll see. All right.
We'll see.
Now that we are in game 3, I will reveal this one piece of tech in I Wish I Was Dead's deck. He is playing Maxi in the board.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You know, I get it. I played 1 or 2 games of Labyrinth just to try the deck out. And when I resolved Maxi, I was like, what am I drawing into? Just trap cards. I lose.
When I play bad decks, I don't like to play Maxi because what am I going to draw? The bad cards in my bad deck. So, what if...
Definitely didn't feel good drawing that half my deck was not like hand traps.
Why not Temple of the Kings? Very true. Very true. Why not Temple of the Kings? That's a good question, actually. I Wish I Was Dead in the Pondering tank here. It's actually got a lot of really interesting stuff in here. The ability to pivot to a more monster-heavy version of the deck. It's got some very interesting, like, targeted gates, as you would expect. I'm interested in seeing how this game 3 plays out. For
Bit
sure.
Of more like combo-centric lines with like the
furniture.
I don't know if, the furniture.
Chat says, I Wish I Was Dead is an artist. He's a performance artist.
That is true.
Checking these other games. I don't think we have any outcomes yet. Mount Fuji has cleared and is in top 4. That's surprising. Wow. Is that guy any good?
I heard he's all right.
He's decent.
He's okay.
All right, heading back in.
Let's go in. We're live.
All right, we are going furniture.
Speak of the devil.
Wow, there we go.
Clock.
We're going to begin with Chandraglianer.
Truly, just like, don't know why.
Chandraglier.
Yeah, no, that's a rough one to say.
Chandraglier. Chandraglier. I got it.
That's okay. That's kind of funny.
That's. Can you please name them normal things?
We pitched the Lord.
Yeah, to get welcome. We maybe have too many lords. Seems like a card you could easily brick on. Or maybe we really needed welcome. Oh, or maybe we have Card of Demise in our opener.
Okay.
This is a 1 in Master Duel?
Yeah, no, it's at 2. It's at 2.
What?
I don't know, man.
Whoa, sorry, end step? Huh?
End step?
How on earth could it be end step?
Oh, yeah. Well, you were right about that one. Well, that's
Labyrinth, baby.
That's the way of the road.
That's just the way it is. Welcome's resolving.
No resolve is resolving.
Do we have a Labyrinth monster in the deck that's good? The second lovely
we
lady?
have to be on double lovely, right?
I don't know, after boarding. It's a pretty easy but greedy way to board out. And we do have a second one. All right, I mean, it's got to be deck dev or bust, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
That is deck dev.
That's it. Well,
I mean, is this an FTK? Let's play the old game.
Is this enough? The deck dev here.
All right, let's see it. What's the hand look like?
The hand.
Woo! I freaking love this game. Oh my god.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Storm the one. Yeah, you got it.
No problem.
It's Eradicator.
Eradicator.
Should have Eradicated. I mean, honestly.
Eradicator instead.
All right. So what do we have? We have
Cross out.
Crossy,
Double lightning
Pankratops,
storm.
double lightning storm, and that's it, right?
Pank.
Cross out, Pankratops, lightning storm. Oh, we can't see it. Imperm. So this set is Imperm.
Imperm. Right.
It says, all right, whatever, go.
What are you gonna draw here?
That's insane. That's an unbelievable rip.
That's a good one.
That's the most crazy rip in the world. Wow. Wow, and there's nothing we can do. If we drew like Ash or something, we've got the cross out.
The problem is you just have to pray this prosperity gets you starter, right?
Yes.
Swap Frog can maybe do it. If you get Swap Frog and they're running like Almirage.
Yes.
That can work.
Or you know what else you could do is wait a turn. You got time.
I mean, you can. You do have time.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
They said, yeah, sure, whatever.
See you. All right. Turn two.
Here we go. We have to have some way to interact with that Swap Frog.
Did we side out the sprites? Let's find out.
No, we saw a jet.
Goat format. It is kind of goat format. I'm not gonna lie.
It does feel kind of like goat format. Yeah. That's
Oh, okay.
true.
We now have a back row. That's an improvement.
That Imperm is not proving very useful. I mean, we know the lightning storm still. That's the problem.
I mean, we have everything. Yeah. Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And if you can, and if, yeah.
Now that's an MST. Oh, excellent.
Oh,
Wonderful.
Sure. There's Eradicator.
There's Froge. Send Froge. Go for Ronin.
That is gigantic.
Looks like this might be it.
This might be it. Oh, making the elf first.
I wish I was dead hops into chat. This guy maybe had a couple of cards to deal with Labyrinth. Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Could have happened.
Yep, there's the Xyz. Make a gigantic.
I guess
one.
maybe if it's like Ash or no, because we have the
No,
Crossy.
they have the cross out. Well, I am glad to see that Pure Sprite is doing good, you know?
Yeah, it feels bad that like Runic is the only thing that people were playing.
Right. Nib? No, we're under gigantic. Isn't that one fun? Yeah, and I wish I was dead's correct. Because of the Pankratops, there's just nothing you really could have done. That demise was, I think, one of the worst demises I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's up there for sure.
Yeah.
Did we search Gamma Burst here?
It's lethal already on board.
No. Well, after 45 turns, they did find some sprites, so they do deserve it. I mean, honestly, that's how decks like this play out. And props to I Wish I Was Dead for making it to top 8. Props to Tasty for making it with Sprite. Nice to see a non-runic player potentially making it into the finals. They're now in top 4. They will join Mount Fuji and the winners of our next games as well. Wow, is that former MCS top 16 competitor direYGO?
It is. That is me. I am that person.
I'm so happy to have you virtually here today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. Getting over a cold, so I couldn't compete in last week's, but I'm excited to come back this time.
Yeah, you've had a fair amount of success in these tournaments. I believe you've bubbled a couple and topped at least one, and unfortunately have not been doing it playing your signature deck, Generator.
I want to win at least one with like a powerful deck before I can commit to Generator and like show, I got to give everyone else a chance,
Yeah, of course. I have to ask, as an individual known for their play on a very specific deck, what do you like playing in Master Duel where the new support for that deck is not yet released?
So with Master Duel, with Generator, I try to do like a different variant of it, like completely different from how I would play it in the TCG. But honestly, after playing the TCG version, I just can't go back to how I used to. So I've just been like bouncing between a bunch of different decks, like Utopia, Runic Sprite. I even tried Labyrinth for a while.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to ask. Do you like Yu-Gi-Oh?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I figured. What are your aspirations in terms of this tournament?
To win. I already topped, so like I feel like the only thing better I can do is win. Surely this interview won't be played the round that I have dropped for like dramatic irony.
Well, if individuals want to see you televising your run, where can they do so?
Twitch.tv/direYGO.
And if people want to see your content in general, where should they go?
YouTube.com/MBTYugiO/DisneyCoder Yu-Gi-Oh/Farver
Thank you for playing along. Always great to have you on.
Yeah, I do have a channel, also direYGO, but I haven't uploaded in a while. So one day I'll make a video again. One day.
Hello, everybody. It's your boy, Joseph Rothschild, a.k.a. MBT, and we are 2 short matches away from the end of the 5th Master Circuit Series. I am joined, as I have been all day, by my good friend, faithful companion, and lifelong partner, Luke Von Karma. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Excited to see the last 4 decks. Shocked to see the decks we've seen here, at least 50% of them.
Yeah, no. I think we all expected that Sprite was going to be the winner of the week, and was shocked to see that of the 5 Sprite Runic that made it into top 16, one of them cleared into top 8, but that one of them is now fighting for their tournament life. That's Flaviovk versus Roarkalos. Roarkalos is on Exo Sister, and we just saw them take out, unfortunately, a Luke Von Karma sub.
Yeah, very rough. Definitely just kind of one of those sad games you see where it's just like your opponent sets up their interactions and you just have your normal combo stuff that does not interact well, and it's just a banish.
Well, we've got access to Martha, and that's a great start from our Exo Sister player. She has been finding Martha like nobody's business, and here is able to make Machias. We'll activate the Machias effect, and then afterwards, I imagine we will overlay for a Magnifica.
Yeah, Michaelis and all these girlies truly plus you a lot getting those spells and power spells and traps. And Magnifica is quite the Xyz to make in the deck.
Yeah. Remember when this was all the deck did? So we've got Returnia. I don't know if we've found Vadis yet, but you can expect probably a couple of set cards. Here we're going to overlay our 2 rank 4 monsters into the Exo Sister Magnifica, just a card that makes the deck tick. It once per turn gets to banish a card, and when your opponent activates a card effect, you can tag it back into Machias to banish a second one. It's such an incredibly powerful individual card, and truly showcases the strength of lesbianism, I think.
Yeah, I think the girls here are very strong, but I believe Flavio is on Sprite Runic, if I recall correctly.
Flavio said, happy Women's History Month, but it's lightning time, baby.
Yeah, here I come.
Our last Sprite
So-
Runic player in. Unfortunately, Sprite Runic does kind of interact with Exosister in a weird way. So if Exosister has the capacity, either by virtue of the traps or just leaving them on field, to leave monsters just floating, and your opponent messes with the graveyard, they can quick rank up into their Xyz monsters. And most of the game plan of Runic after turn 1 is to shuffle a bunch of cards from the graveyard back into the deck and draw an equal number of cards. So, by clever application of the trap cards, Workalos can probably make pretty effective use of the on-field effects of the Exosisters and potentially get some really sick Xyz summons up over what is, in my estimation, the best deck in the room.
Yeah, no, but Flashing Fire proving why Runic is so strong. It already is starting to... It forces out both the Magnifica Banish and the Magnifica Xyz. So it stops that. It stops any of your sprites from being banished. So now you have to. Now you only have to worry about the Michaelis, and it allows you to play the game a lot easier than most decks would be able to.
Yeah, we're trading for a couple of pieces of interaction here, but don't get carried away. This is still a pretty devastating one. The Flashing Fire in the banished zone means we can't cycle it back, and like you alluded to, you still get the Michaelis banish over the course of this turn.
That is true.
So our normal summon is going to have to be something fantastic, and it's going to have to be supplemented by a number of runic spells that aren't going to be able to shuffle back into the deck, lest we run into the Returnia that we searched. All right, there's the Michaelis. And because we have Xyz summoned this turn, we've got 2 banishes on the Returnia, 1 on the Michaelis. Like, it's got to be like 4 names. Going for Called By here. Wow. That's interesting.
Oh, wow.
So I think what we're
On
trying
the
to do
Martha.
here is target the Martha in order to try to maybe force out the trap card that summons. But Rorkalos isn't biting. She says, yeah, fine, do whatever you want. I don't need Martha
Right.
on the crackback. Yeah.
Ooh, yep. That's a pass.
And says, I don't think I'm dead here. Without Martha, it's kind of hard to get multiple of the Exosisters on field, but if we're able to make it to Magnifica, that card attacks twice.
That is true. They have so much advantage. 3 cards. We know
It's going to
one
be
of them
so funny if
is-
Exo wins this.
It's unreal.
What are the other decks? Well, we've got the Sprite Runic and the Exo, and then on the other end of the spectrum, we have got a Sprite Pure
Your Sprite.
and Mount Fuji's Thundra list. That would be a really funny deck to see in finals.
Love to see that. Yeah, Michaelis just gets to plus us again. That's the problem with leaving on this guy on board. Just gets to plus to 1,000,000.
How does Thundra do against Exos? I'm not sure, but I would guess very badly.
Yeah, not great. We
Fought
might
us
see
here.
a similar outcome from the game we just saw.
That's eating an
Wolf-
Ash Blossom. They do have to be bricking on something. I would imagine that some of the hand might be like lava golems or, oh my goodness.
Ooh, wow.
That might just be the end of the game.
Yeah, that just might be the end of the game
Yep.
here.
In fact, it's literally the end of the game. They
It
said,
is
no,
literally
we're not
the end
sending
of the
this
game.
one. Let's go to
They
game 2.
Understand. Yep, let's run it to game 2.
All right, let's see if we can get some
quick
information
one.
about their side decks.
Quick game. We are seeing some quick final games here.
Quick ones for sure. And it's not, difficult to see why. Thunder Dragon and Exosister, they're decks that kind of leave their entire game plan on the table.
Yes.
It's like, listen, what I'm going to do is pretty much face up at all times, whereas Sprite Runic is it's a sneaky man's deck.
Oh yeah,
It's
You
a
can- the
sneaker for
pivots-
sure.
The pivots that Sprite Runic makes is unreal. Am I a control deck, or am I the aggressive negate deck?
No. You're pretty much never the aggressive deck.
Okay, I meant aggressively
yeah,
with
yeah.
negates. You know what I mean. You don't have
I'm
to-
aware.
Come on, man.
Oh, I just love how
break here.
Called By specifically works in Exosister, just not only as a way to interrupt the opponent's plays, but also as an extender in certain hands. It's just like,
'Cause
it's
it
so
moves
funny.
it out of the graveyard.
Moving out of the graveyard is such a funny thing to punish, but it's so funny that the way that they resolved the problem that it's actually very bad to show your opponent what you don't want them to do and then tell them not to do it, and then if they don't do it, you lose.
Yes.
The way that they solved it is they were like, oh, forget about it. Martha just triggers herself. You're just allowed to do whatever you want with Martha.
Yes. It is very funny. And it's also fun that they were like, okay, well, like this effect is not enough to like actually win games. So all of them can banish.
Yeah.
You know, that's just what they do.
Sick. All right, the predictions up. You all have a minute to vote on this one. Let's see what we've got. They're in boarding right now, and we will just wait for them to finish. It looks like Fuji's game also just concluded. Let's see where they're at. And Fuji has lost game 1. So despite the fact that it looks like EXO is well positioned in this game, there is a possibility, however remote, I hate to say this, but there is a possibility that we get a Sprite final. Even after all of this, we tried so hard to bring you something that wasn't cringe. We might get a Sprite on Sprite final. It'll at least be 2 different builds.
No way. What? That's crazy.
All right. The 2 of them have just gotten in. They're going to coin flip right now, decide who's going first. Taking a quick look at their side decks, and honestly, it's a bunch of stuff you would expect.
Yeah. No, these look pretty standard. Pretty standard stuff here.
I do appreciate that people are putting thought into their side decks now.
Yeah. No, these are very good.
All right. We are in. So I would imagine that Sprite is going first. There's one thing that might really screw it up, and that is a standby phase dimension shifter. It looks like we have avoided it, but Exo Sister loves playing this card, and while Sprite doesn't necessarily have a problem with it, Sprite Runic does. They need those cards in the graveyard.
Well,
all right, not shotgunning it means that we do get a little hosed by triple tack. But it looks like the minigame was failed, and Maxi will resolve here. I wonder if you just pass. Be like,
I mean,
as long as you didn't find Martha, we're fine. Right? And there it is.
Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. We've been talking about it all day.
Really been seeing a lot of shotgunning and draw phase to play around this specifically. And oh my goodness. You get the jet out, but the downside is you're getting confiscation. And look at this. You take the Ellis, and what do? They only have 1 live draw in the deck in Martha.
Now you know the whole hand. It's Martha or bust.
I think you probably just take Ellis and pass here. Say, good luck. You get 1 draw, and it's got to represent 2 material. Yeah.
Yep, there it goes.
And if they have something like an Ash Blossom as well, that's going to make this pretty interesting. We know they have the called by, but, you know.
Right.
All right, here we go. Martha or bust. Place your bets. One time. Martha or Pax does it. 6 cards in 34. Ooh, it looks like we have not done it.
Well, we know these sets, that's for sure.
Do you think it might be Imperm and called by?
It might be. These are my guesses too.
Drawing for turn here.
I mean, gosh.
Pretty much anything does it. I mean, you would expect that they have like combo starters in hand and just elected not to use them.
I was going to say if I see blue dropped, it's Jover.
That's Jover. Wow, that's really Jover. So this could theoretically trade for the Ash, and then the Gigantic could trade for the Imperm, but even then, I mean, we're in such a commanding position over so few cards.
Whatever you want.
That's going to eat the Imperm. Yep.
That's the Imperm. Oh, God. And Flavio has a response.
But elects not to do it.
Yeah.
It could be like Smashers?
Yeah, it could be Smashers or starter. Oh, who cares?
Jet
We
again.
had the jet already.
Well, that seems to be the end of the game. Now that the imperm is done, we can just go get red and then do the entire combo.
We don't even have a good called by target here.
No, we don't. We have to wait for the elf, and even then it's only okay.
Yeah. So we do
pretty
know
hard about this. Yeah, grabbing starter.
Yeah, okay. Grab starter.
Yeah, there is still a win condition. I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now I'll say it. If they had started in the imperm zone, that's our win condition.
Yeah. Yeah, got to remember that column.
All right, that's going to eat the Ash Blossom, and now shields are down. Time to go ahead and make a gigantic sprite, probably. I guess it is possible that they opened, like, Ghost Ogre, but, I mean, that possibility is just so remote.
That they drew into the ogre, yeah, maybe.
Or even going combat here says, I'm not making
Yeah,
anything.
combats. They says, yeah, no, this is more damage.
Well, gigantic in 2. We've seen a little ogre today, but it's mostly been in the context of decks that search it off of Jam Dragon Drive. Going down to 43 here. We probably have an understanding that set card is a called by, but there's a scenario where it's like a Vadis or a Returnia.
Right.
That's maybe a little interesting.
Yep. There's the gigantic big boy himself.
All right, we'll fire off the gigantic effect, and I mean, what do you want to get here? I think the only thing you're afraid of is, I mean, pretty much exactly Martha. So maybe you just go get red.
Yeah, because what is PAX searches you a card?
Yeah, and the card you're searching is always Martha.
Right.
Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna go bother my dog.
No problem. So there's also, I was thinking of the options here. You can also try. I don't know if I haven't seen Flavio's direct list, but I was about to say you can get the Hyperia just so that you can start plussing and start going over the top. And that is a great start to draw a card here. And there's the Runic Fountain. That was exactly the worry. If we have a single runic spell, we can start activating those, getting more plus and material for our elf and making IP. We just get to go over the top here. Oh, and it's one of the best ones. Runic Destruction to pop that, what I assume is the Called by the Grave. I assume you activate it now just to get that blue out of rotation, but that's not going to matter. Yep, 4 banished, double evenly matched Maxi, and the Vadis banished. Gonna Fountain for 1 just because it's just good. It's just good. It's good enough. It's all you need to do, honestly. Most of the draws here from Runic are so powerful. This is an easy elf here. We can summon back one of these little 2s.
God, once you see the Hyperia, it's like, yeah, this game is getting out of hand.
Oh, God.
Hyperia has been such a house all day.
Yes.
Oh!
Oh.
Gotcha!
Gotcha!
Win condition located.
Win con found. Oh, wow. That's so funny. Well, it happens to the best of us. Flavio
It's been
says
a
it's
long
fine.
day.
It's been a long day. Lots of Yu-Gi-Oh being played. Not, you're in such a good position. It doesn't matter too much.
Yeah. Sometimes when you do something like that, like misplay from way ahead, I know a lot of people like really get in their head and they're like, "Oh, how could I do that?" You just gotta at some point be like, "Yu-Gi-Oh, am I right?" And keep
Am I
rolling.
right?
Like one of the most underexplored skills in Yu-Gi-Oh is an ability to just kind of roll with the punches. Looks like we're thinking about Jin Buster here
Yeah,
potentially.
Jin Buster seems pretty good.
All we're scared
That
about is one
is
card. That counters it.
Really good.
Bada bing, number
Yeah.
65, Jin Buster. You know this has a chaos number?
Yes, I do. C65.
Buster of Jins.
Buster of Jins. This guy was originally good with the Maleficeless or whatever. I don't know.
Malice Vorus.
Vorus. With the forks.
Oh my
like the
god!
knives.
You don't know Malice Vorus? Yeah, it's the
No,
it's the
I
dinner
don't, I
archetype.
don't. I do apologize. Why do you keep saying it like that though?
What? It's called Malice Vorus.
Oh, okay.
What do you
No,
think? What are you trying to call it? Malicious?
I think so.
No.
Elf target Hyperia. You know, this rotation seems so absolutely bonkers
wait,
to me.
Hold up. Why are we doing this?
I'm not sure.
This is a disastrous decision.
I mean, yeah, I'm not a big fan.
So we go get Martha here. Sprite Elf resolves and brings back Hyperia. We draw a card. Then Ellis can tag up, right?
It depends if that last card in hand is the runic spell negate.
The Witch?
It's the only reason I would do this play.
Okay.
Okay.
So we got the Promised Sister for Sophia and Irene. So now at point of resolution, we get to go Irene, Sophia. We can negate one of them with Jin Buster, but unless we have exactly one of the runic spells that destroys or negates, I mean, they're in this game. They're like very in this game.
Yep.
Maxi.
Oh, never mind.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. No, I think you're fine with that.
What's going on?
Wait, they're not negating the
No, we're letting them all
Yeah.
resolve.
Wait, why?
Even Sadie's upset. Give me another minute.
Okay. Yeah, I did that off of the assumption that they were going to Jin Buster, but I guess they're saving the Jin Buster for the Michaelis. I honestly don't know what's happening here. I mean, we are going to draw some cards. That is 3 draws for Flavio, but we have the Michaelis and the Caspitel, which could win us the game.
Going to the
straight
battle
to
phase
battle
here.
phase.
We're not locked by anything, right? We can like make a
I don't
6
believe
Zeus.
so. Wow, into that Jin Buster. The Jin Buster just did not activate.
It didn't do
So
anything this time.
Baffled.
We can go Caspitel into the Sprite Elf. Main phase 2, we can use Machias to banish the Runic Fountain, and then we can use Magnifica to banish the Hyperia, force them to do everything. Wow, what?
Yeah. I mean, but if you do that, you give your opponent more draws again. I don't know.
Yes.
I hate that it's still bad.
So here we're just going to go ahead and get probably Martha. Then we can use Machias. We probably go Machias, banish Runic Fountain, and then overlay these two for Magnifica, give them one more draw and pass. We go back on 5. They have Hyperia.
Flavio is representing some kind of runic card. Don't know what.
But whatever it is, it has to happen now. Because if we don't, we're going to be able to eat the fountain.
Well, this is adding the spell trap.
Sure.
So I think you let this resolve.
So, have we normaled this turn?
We have.
We normaled Irene, yeah. So if we go get Returnia, that's 2 banishes. Like, we might be fine. This is such a weird game to be in.
What a weird
All right, here it is. We're threatening the banish. If you have like a freezing curses, it has to happen now. Oh, that's interesting. Why are we targeting the Iperia?
Yeah, I think you let that resolve.
The fountain. You let that resolve for sure.
For sure, you don't mind.
You know, one funny thing you could do. Set Returnia and pass.
Yeah,
we're gonna go Magnifica.
Okay,
Says,
we are
fine. Have one more draw.
Yeah, here's another draw. Just like.
Okay, here we go for the Magnifica, right on the fountain.
I don't know. You risk being. You risk getting flashing fired, right?
Oh, we've been risking getting flashing fired the whole game.
I think they've been holding it if they drew it. All right. That resolves. Yeah, that is true. They could dodge the freezing with the Magnifica. That is a very good point. Well, let's start over. 5 cards versus Magnifica, I guess.
All right, so we've been through one Gigantic, an Elf, a Djinn Buster. We have a blue and Banish, 2 Jet, which is maybe all they're playing. Beginning with a Runic Destruction, going for the Vadis here. I guess we chain the Vadis.
Guess
Never
so.
good.
Not fantastic. Is it Vadis or is it
Returnia, sorry.
Returnia? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So what do you banish from grave here? I guess elf, maybe.
Yeah.
Or don't really want to banish Jet. You don't care about really much else. Maybe the runic spell, but
This is a hard one for sure. There's no way you just let it resolve. Like you want the freebie, regardless. No matter what's going on.
Yep.
No matter what's going on. Okay, we are going Vadis.
Okay, they're gonna banish the spell instead.
Yeah, that seems all right.
Yeah, no, not many great targets. So
they don't want them to
fine.
cycle everything. It's actually a pretty low graveyard. They're only getting 1 here. Banished, the dim shifter, pretty much nothing. Nothing super exciting.
Kind of a bit of a whiff on those vanishes. Well,
there's the fountain, but you can
start.
Magnifica the fountain. You probably wait for them to commit to a runic spell first.
Right.
But we're now in a position where 2 fountain are accounted for. Like, they might not even play the 3rd. Wow. That's
the start.
I mean, having to do that proactively is so rough.
Yeah, that is
because here you get to go Magnifica. Oh, they're going for the tag.
Right, they're gonna try and tag out here.
Ooh, that's actually the wrong sequence, right? Because if they go CL3 banish and they chain freezing curses, then it's fine.
Oh. No, I think that's actually fine here.
Chet says they can't banish. They only have 1 mat. Oh. Yeah. I don't understand how this card works.
No, neither do I. So first, we're kind of running into
each
Exorcist
effect
for the first time.
requires a banish. I see. So we get to Machias here at minimum.
Right. I'm really so curious those two other cards Flavio has.
One of them's chainable. If it's starter, that's maybe a problem.
Yeah, big problem. Okay, fountain gone. That's 2 fountain banished.
Set 1. Sheesh.
Wow.
Ooh.
That
my
seems
gosh.
like the end of the game.
That might be it. We know there's a Martha in hand, right?
I think we do.
This is... Oh, wow. This was such a winnable game.
I'm still thinking back to that Gin Buster.
Wild turn. Absolutely ludicrous. Getting packs to hand. Oh, it's so Jover. I hope the Iperia draw was worth it.
It was not at all.
Well, at least we won't have a Sprite Mirror in finals. I'll say that. There's Martha.
Yeah.
Last chance to look at me, Hector. Ash
that's
Blossom.
the
Okay,
Ash
all right.
Blossom.
Says I am
Okay.
not going down that easily.
Not that easily.
It's still pretty bad. We have packs.
Yeah, they're going down pretty easily. Yep, there's the packs. I like that packs can add you any Exosister card.
You know what's
Except itself.
interesting is the Magic Cylinder actually wins here. Sophia here, and I guess we might as well. We have Martha, we have Sophia. Yeah, there she is. Sophia is such an interesting card. It's just nice. It's the one that's just a free draw. I hate that the Irene is like a cycle. They were like, no, you don't even get a free draw. You have to cycle. And you know what? You know what? Forget you. The first part is the tuck. You don't even get to draw and then tuck. You got to tuck first. Call.
Oh, it's called.
Whoa, that's a
Great.
death sentence. Not against this
I
deck.
think they understand.
I think they know that it might be Jover.
I think they know it's over.
Oh, grabbing Sophia. No draw? Oh, wait, no, they're a genius. Now Sophia's second effect is negated.
True.
Which is normal Martha.
Yeah, just normal Martha. I mean, it's not enough for lethal, but we just Xyz here, right? Just a normal
I think it actually
Xyz.
is enough for lethal, because we can Xyz, we can go Machias if we have the third. Or what's the one that searches?
Game over. It doesn't matter. We're just going to go Gabrine, right? And then summon Magnifica and attack twice.
We're just going to bonk them. Yeah, what the heck? Wow, I was wrong to doubt the power of women. Apologies. Happy Women's
The
History Month,
girlies
everybody.
are proving how strong they are.
Girlie's undefeated. And Exo Sister in finals. I can't believe I'm saying that. The last time you heard that was probably, what? The Canadian YCS?
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Here with maybe the most accomplished player that we've ever had in the MCS. Sure, we have Worlds competitors. Sure, we have YCS winners, but we have never had the Chalice Slime Monthly Player of the Year 2020 Mount Fuji. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me, Joseph. I'm doing pretty good. For those who don't know me, I'm Mount Fuji, a former professional duelist, now just an online grinder, really. I like to play in the Chalice Slime Monthlies, and I'm looking forward to playing more of the MCS.
Well, we are very happy to have you. You did play a lot of competitive in your long, storied career. I have to ask, what was your least favorite format of all time?
It's interesting because I'd say my least favorite format has to be the time between 2017 and 2018 TCG competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, which involved Goki, Spiral, and a lot of these go wide combo decks where there weren't enough going second tools yet. Dark Ruler and Nibiru hadn't been printed yet. And so really, even if you were playing the combo deck, you were just kind of at the mercy of your opponent's draw and your go second tools that were pretty minimal, to be honest. And I did not really enjoy those formats. In fact, I stopped playing for a little bit during those formats until I came back around Phantom Rage when Tri-Brigade and Drytron and those decks were pretty popular.
You really did not miss much. Just a series of terrible, terrible formats.
So I've heard.
I do want to ask, you talked a little about like powerful going second tools for a competitive player. How is it playing in a format where those tools are a little less accessible because of the best of one format? Does that impact your deck building, your decision making? Do you think it makes the games more or less skillful?
Well, while I think that you were subject to a lot more variance in best of one when you actually play the game, I think a lot of the decision making in deck building and making deck building concessions is a lot more important. And so when I do even choose a deck as opposed to, you know, how I'm going to build a deck, really deck choice comes down to best of one format. Is this good? Are enough of my cards going to be live enough of the time? And that, you know, kind of narrowing my options and deciding what cards and in fact what deck I'm going to play is honestly harder than, you know, loading up and playing the best of one format. I don't know if I'd call it more skill based per se, but I think it requires a different skill set for sure as opposed to best of three.
One skill set that Master Duel absolutely demands is that you have the ability to summon 2 level 2 or lower Cyburst monsters. You have taken specific issue with a card called Update Jammer. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
And I want you to know, Joseph, my crusade will not end. I will not rest until that card leaves the format. That card in of itself, especially in best of one, but just in general, talk about a broken card that really slips through the cracks, right? That really kind of homogenizes such a flexible monster typing, which is Cyburst monsters. They have so much support, and yet every time you play against like a cyber style deck, you know, interrupted enough, they lean back and they go, okay, well, time for plan Z, which was really plan A all along. I'm going to summon Update Jammer. I have maybe another monster. I'm going to summon Transcode Talker. I make access code, and you're dead. And that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. Even if you think you're good, even if you think defenses are up, shields are up, really they're not. You can never have enough shields against Update Jammer. That card is ridiculous. That card is incredibly good in best of one, but I think in best of three even it's really good. And it's never been, as I posted on Twitter, it's never been used for good. You know, it's always been used to perpetuate some sort of OTK through a million defense. And it really, I mean, my goodness, what a card, right? 3 monsters equals you're dead. Come on.
Well, I hope that you do not see much Update Jammer this weekend. Thank you so much for sitting down with us, and best of luck in today's event.
Of course. Thank you for having me, Joseph, and I'm looking forward to playing.
And folks, he did not encounter much Update Jammer at all. Folks, it is now time for the final of the 5th week of the Master Circuit series. And because I am streaming this event, it doesn't matter that we had an unbelievable caliber of player for this 256-person tournament. It doesn't matter we had Worlds competitors. It doesn't matter we had YCS winners, because we also had Mount Fuji, who gets a plus 9,000 bonus when he is playing in an MBT tournament. I am here as ever with Danny. Luke Von Karma, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. I'm excited to see Mount Fuji and Orkalos on the Exo Sisters.
I think that we are going to see a really, really interesting one, just because Fuji is up against, I would say, probably the worst matchup of all time.
Hey, they're saying they can't hear me.
They can hear you.
Can they not hear me?
No, they literally can. And what? It looks like Fuji has begun with double Upstart Goblin into Aloof Lupine. We have not seen Upstart Goblin yet. The man is playing a 27-card deck at best.
Yeah, it is. It really does feel that way.
Yeah. So, if you're unfamiliar, Mount Fuji is on Thunder Dragon. In a top cut dominated by Sprite and Sprite Runic, for some reason, we're sitting here casting Exo Sister versus Thundra in finals. But I will say, despite the fact that Mount Fuji has this unbeatable holy mantle, this is a miserably bad matchup. You can expect, especially in games 2 and 3, that you'll see a lot of targeted graveyard hate at this deck in particular, and if Exo Sister can ever establish a monster on board, not only do they get to flex into powerful monsters off the activation of the Thunder Dragon cards, they also get to banish things. And that's like the one thing that Colossus cannot beat.
Yep. It is a deck that is so good against destruction prevention, but not good against banishing.
Chat has figured out a copy pasta for this. Have you heard of our good friend YCS Niagara Falls 2022 champion Raymond Young Dai? And Fuji just executing a combo that would have been at home in 2018 formats. Thunder Dragon Colossus in defense position and Thunder Dragon Fusion afterwards. It's so crazy that Colossus Titan is still playable in some capacity, but in a format that is absolutely brimming with powerful sprite monsters that search cards from the deck. I get it.
Yep. It's one of the strongest cards ever printed. Colossus continues to be banned in the TCG for that reason.
And thank God for it. Is Colossus legal in the OCG?
I believe so, but I might be talking out of my butt. Yeah, they have the same thing, just like Master Duel. It's at 1 in the OCG.
Disgusting. Well, of course, they also have, you know, Kashtira and Tearlament and a bunch of decks that are actually fun and interesting. All right, Rorkelos has
Oh, go ahead.
Rorkelos has a lot to chew through here, but that's a good start.
Well, that's a great start.
That's the thing about Exo Sister. There are so few. Oh, and Martha too. There are so few good Exo Sister cards that like the rest of your deck is powerful non-engine.
Show me the Ash Blossom.
Minigame completed. Minigame completed.
Oh my god.
That was Dark Ruler, Ash, Martha, 3 cards. Pretty good.
Yeah,
but for what it's worth, Rorkelos has been running about this hot the entire set. She has
every game Rorkelos is gonna. I'm good. How?
She legitimately has opened this well about 7 times in a row and has chewed through a field of Sprite, Sprite Runic, Branded Despia, though, in the defense of her opponents, all those decks do move cards from the graveyard.
They do. You know, it feels like I'm at Niagara Falls for some reason.
Yeah, well, there's a lot less Tearlament here, I'll say that. All right, we're going to go for Michaelius here. That's going to go ahead and grab an Exo Sister Spell Trap from deck to hand.
Yeah, that is going to nab us a nice Exo Sister Spell Trap. Probably Pax. Oh, no, we're going to go Returnia.
Going to get Returnia, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the targeted banishes are so unbelievably good versus this deck. I mean, 1 copy of Colossus.
Yeah, the only ones obviously you have to worry about are the dragons that plus off of being banished, but you don't really mind it, honestly.
Simply do not target those ones. It's as
you just don't. You probably never really have to.
Oh my gosh, what a fantastic hit here! Recognizing the threatening card in this situation isn't actually like the Colossus; it's the fusion in graveyard that allows Fuji to refill their hand.
No way. You're telling me you open
Thunderbolt,
Dark
the
Ruler,
Thunder Dragon,
Raigeki, Martha, Ash,
Okay, well, we do not have access to Magnifica, but we have 3 back row, which is probably a little worse. Sometimes you are just that good. Sometimes you are just that good. And if you're Fuji, like, what do? You can go for the Hawk here, but then if they have any way to get a monster out at quick speed, you literally lose on the spot.
Yeah.
Desire's a good
Well,
start.
that's
Desire's
a
a
good
very
start.
good start.
So now we have to think about the going second or, kind of blowout cards from Fuji. Are they on evenly? Okay.
Looks like a pass here.
It's not great.
Ideal.
Do not want to pass.
Can we see Martha off the top? Ugh, and it's just such a rough position to be in because if Fuji drew into a maxi, like you want to fire it and draw, but you're in such a commanding position, you can just not. Just wait on it.
Yep.
So Machias doesn't have the banish this turn, but notably that's a once per turn to search. So if it survives, which it did here, we can go ahead and grab from deck to hand another spell. Here it is going to be the Pax. Now the Pax does translate into a Martha. First, we're going to go for a Vadis. This is going to allow us to choose an Exo-Sister monster from the deck, then take another Exo-Sister monster mentioned on the monster and special them both. Now, that's going to meet an Ash Blossom. Vadis, of course, very powerful if you are able to activate it on your own turn because you can immediately then Xyz. But the Ash Blossom will make quick work of it, sans a Called by the Grave. Let's see if we've got it.
Yep. Looking like we're thinking about responding here.
It's possible that we do have the Called by the Grave, but elected not to do it just because we're already in such a commanding position. Maybe we have a second copy of Vadis, and we're like, okay, like we'll just set it and try it again next turn.
Yeah, you think, like, again, like, what do you lose to, right? Do you lose to this? Are they representing Max C? Like, do you want to keep that? If you do have Called by?
And you're fine with Pax anyway. Like,
Right.
This is a Pax that's not going to have to run into a copy of Ash Blossom. Like, you're very happy about that.
Of course, this gets us Martha,
Mm-hmm.
which, of course, gets the train rolling yet again.
And there goes the Martha. A wonderful card. So happy that this is finally in Master Duel.
Yeah. No, this deck was quite literally unplayable without Martha.
All right, Exo-Sister Ellis coming down. Ellis is such a nice card. Just one of the very few actually just straight up good Exo-Sisters in a vacuum.
Right.
Rather than drawing it with the promised one. Going for Caspitel here on summon. Caspitel can detach a material to add an Exo-Sister monster from deck to hand, and what do you know? We haven't normaled.
Mm-hmm. Still have our normal summon. I wonder what we could normal.
Getting the third Martha says, whatever,
Gotcha.
we're always losing to the same cards. We'll just
It
get
doesn't
follow-up.
matter.
Oh, never mind. We're just going to normal it. Says, all right. I
That's
mean,
so-
Martha's on-field effect could theoretically trigger as long
Yeah,
as something
no.
was banished. And if we have called by and saved it there, we can actually use it to fire the Martha in battle phase, which would
Oh,
be very
no.
funny and also lethal.
That would be incredibly hilarious. Nope. We have the
So
Returnia.
that isn't
That
it,
is
but it's
not
good
it,
enough.
But it's good enough.
Yeah. We knew
Yeah,
the
no,
Returnia
that's-
was
that's-
searched, didn't we?
Right. No, we did know the Returnia. So, yep, same thing. Get to move the monster out of the grave, and then immediately after this, Xyz.
So we're going to Xyz using the Caspitel and the Machias into Magnifica.
Magnifica,
And then at
right,
point of
yeah.
resolution, we can activate the Martha on field to go into another Machias. It's just very
Dumb.
funny.
Very stupid.
Very funny.
Love
This
it.
was like 30,000 damage, you know?
Just 1,000,000 damage.
I think they're deciding maybe if they even want to.
Right.
Like if anything
what's the
stops
point? I'm
them,
pretty sure
the
you
Martha
win.
can do something, in response on the next turn and keep the Machias live. So why not just
Right.
go in with the Magnifica? Quick game one out of our Exo-Sister pilot. She is poised for a 2-0, especially in this exceptionally good matchup for her. But if there's one thing I've learned from the CSM, it's don't count Fuji out.
Do not count him out. He has the barbecue bonus.
Yeah. So for those of you who have just started watching, Fuji did not expect to make it this far and is at a barbecue. And so he is currently playing on his phone at a barbecue.
Yeah, he is grilling in one hand and playing in the other.
He sent a picture. It's very funny. I won't show it because
Oh,
I don't
please
want to
send
like
that to me.
dox Fuji, but
Just DM it
it's
to me.
funny. It looks like a very nice barbecue, I will say.
Kind of jealous, dude. Do you want to do a barbecue?
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely. I'm always down. It's starting to be warm again. Come up to the house and we'll do some grilling. I have to clean the grill though.
Yeah.
I have one of those like wire brushes, and then my parents were like, "You can't use those wire brushes. Wire shreds off it and gets into your food." And I was like, "Oh, but they're so convenient."
Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah, really don't want to. Can I come? No.
No. Yeah, I can give you back your adventure cards too.
Oh yeah, you have Emperor Stove's adventure cards. So prediction is up. I think for the next like 30 seconds. Looks like 70% of you think Exo Sister is going to win. Voting against Mount Fuji literally could not be me.
Could not be me. Could not be me.
Literally could not be me. Use an onion to clean? Huh? What are you talking about?
Really?
Maybe. I've never owned a grill before. This is new to me. If you get the grill hot, it works. I'll try it out.
I've seen a couple people saying it works.
Most of our mid-siding commentary is like, yeah, what do you think's coming in? This time we're like, how's grilling?
What about the onion?
Yeah, the
You ever
onion.
do the onion?
So let's check out Fuji's sideboard here. And I can't find it. But I can find the sideboard of the Exo Sister player, and I gotta say, this is a lot of cards that just immediately beat Fuji. All right, they are loading in. Looks like we are about to jump into what could be the final game of the final match.
Wow. It's crazy that how powerful the Exo Sisters look against a deck like Thunder Dragon.
Yeah, well, that's the 2021 difference, you know. They're playing a deck
3
from
years of card
2018.
design. Yeah.
Are you going to show deck lists at the end of the event? As always, these deck lists are going to be live on YGO, BRODECK.com as soon as Ren wakes up. So probably in a couple of hours. All right, they are in. Thank you to the 2401 of you who have stuck around through the bitter end. I know the first week was somewhere in like the 3K range, and you know, that was excellent. But I was really afraid that hype was going to completely drop off. It's nice to see that everyone is still enjoying it, or just here to laugh. I don't know if you're enjoying it or not. You could hate it.
Yeah. Well, here to complain, which is always fun.
Stella.
Yeah, I mean, that's Stella.
So Stella's not very good. This is the problem with Exo Sisters. Martha's insane. Out of this world broken. Stella?
Here's the minigame.
And minigame failed. Looks like we are going to be
Failed.
drawing off this.
I mean...
They're not really
this is the
compatible.
putback.
I'm not trying to like say anything, but like Irene and Stella, I don't really like them together. So here, Exo Sister
And they
goes
were
from the hand to the
roommates.
bottom of the deck. You draw a card, then you gain 800 if you have Exo Sister Sophia. Here we do not. And I imagine we are probably just making Machias and pass.
Yeah, and interesting here, Fuji chose to go second.
That's interesting for sure. I think correctly understanding that the going second tools in Exo Sister are just unbelievably powerful. They can easily pick apart a board that's maybe a little under the curve of where it needs to be. Inversely, Thunder Dragon, I mean, can basically play any powerful going second spell in the world. And with the huge attack stat of cards like Thunder Dragon Titan, they can OTK really easily well.
Yeah, they threaten lethal very fast and very efficiently.
Loading up on trap cards here, I imagine we'll just set a couple.
Yeah, Returnia is great.
Returnia is nice. If the other one is Vadis, we are in a very good position.
Yes.
But who knows?
Oh,
Yeah, we're going
right to the
immediately
battle phase, huh? Okay, well, that makes sense.
Well, it's a 7-card hand. Like, you would expect that it probably
course.
has a card that beats this.
That is the maxi.
I wonder what you pick. The Machias is dead weight at this point, so definitely not that. Returnia and Vadis work really well together. But if you can only keep a 1, I imagine it would be Vadis? And you just hope you're not dead here?
Yeah, just really tough position.
Now, the problem is, even if we keep Vadis and everything goes according to plan, like they activate an effect that on resolution of chain would get us a couple of really powerful monsters, we're still dead to an Ash Blossom. Like, it's rough.
Yeah, no, that's true. Maxi proving again why it's so powerful.
Can Exosister even win if they don't open Maxi, Ash, Pax, Martha, Raigeki? Okay, we are going to actually activate Returnia. Banish the Maxi.
Interesting.
And then Point of Resolution go Vadis. That's really interesting. So this plays around Ash Blossom insofar as if Fuji Ash Blossom's here, we can keep the Machias.
Ah, okay.
If we don't, what we're going to do here is, yep, that's smart.
Yeah, okay, there's the Ash.
If we don't see the Ash, we can keep the Vadis monster, which will see the banish on resolution of the chain. What does this do? It plays around them having Ash for your Vadis. This is the way to do it, chat. What? So now we absolutely have to get rid of the Machias, because if we don't, not only is it half of a Magnifica, which immediately counters a Colossus, if we can't get to Titan, the Machias can, or if we only get to like non-Colossus related stuff, it can just search another spell and we win.
Fuji's playing pretty fast here. I feel like he sees a line.
Yeah, this is incredible. You know, Aloof Lupine plus a guy is pretty much full combo.
Pretty great. Get to Aloof to go roar. Trigger that roar on
okay, that's a pretty good Ash Blossom.
That is a great Ash Blossom. Oh, now what?
Yeah, we're in a very strange position. If we don't have access to Thunder Dragon Fusion, we're cooked, but we do.
That was exactly the one. So we have the dragon, the double dragons banished, and the dragon engrave.
Chad asking why they didn't Ash the Maxi. They probably got it off of Irene.
Yeah, it was probably drawn later.
Yeah. Okay, so this is still not the end of the game. Oh, they're going for Titan? Oh, it is the end of the game.
Yeah. No,
I was like, because if they go Colossus, then we can just make a Zeus play, but no, this is devastating.
There is the Titan. Chain Titan.
Thunder Dragon fact.
Yeah, Fuji's playing on his phone at the speed of lightning.
Yeah.
This is barbecue speed.
That's interesting. Just grabbing the other Thunder Dragon just in case.
We are rotating one Thunder Dragon.
Yeah. Then
Okay,
we can
so
go...
now we don't have a Thunder Dragon for turn 4.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. That is hilarious.
This card's legal?
Yes. Can you believe that? This card's been legal for a while.
Yeah. Huh. Okay, so now we can just make Colossus, right?
So what are we Vertang for? Because we've already done T-Fusion. You think there's no way, right? There's no way we're... Oh, no, you can just do it again. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you just play
Becomes
two.
the effective Verte Anaconda, right?
Yep. There we go.
There's Titan.
You know, just to be fair, this is not an interaction I ever got to see when I played Thunder Dragon back in 2000.
You didn't have no Verte.
18. I had no Verte back then. Okay.
And we're going for Thunder Dragon again. I think
Doing Thunder Dragon again.
looping this. I wonder if we even Chain Titan, like eat the Verte so we don't get like Utopia doubled. No, we're fine.
Could you imagine?
We're fine.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we don't know the last card in hand. But Martha does still clear here, right?
Martha is pretty good.
Martha solos.
Martha solos. Let me read Martha real fast. Find it. Yeah.
No, we're going next game. All right,
Makes
wow,
sense.
2 quick ones, I gotta say.
2 quick games. We're on game 3. That was a Fuji saying, I would like to go second.
Fuji has done that a couple of times in the CSM. Electing to go second is a skill that I feel like a lot of duelists are like, no, I don't want to mess with. But the tools they give you for going second just all read win the game. Like, why wouldn't you, against decks that have a low ceiling, be like, no, I'm never engaging with this thing. I'm going to play these incredible power spells. What are they going to do, kill me?
Yep.
If Fuji wins what is, in my estimation, the worst matchup of all time, we'll see.
Incredible feat at the barbecue. I will continue to point this out. He's just too strong.
Oh man, I'm legitimately excited. I can't believe it.
It's great.
I didn't think I could be this
Incredible
excited
finals.
for a final in Sprite format, but we ain't seen no Sprite.
No sprites here.
Oh my gosh. Oh, hell no. Mount Fuji brought Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel to the function. If he wins the entire event, I bet the barbecue pops off. Like, I imagine
I hope so.
trying to explain to your friends, like, no, I'm in a tournament. And they're like, oh, how are you doing?
No.
It's like,
I just
finals.
won, like, mad stacks.
$500. The Fuji money laundering monthly continues.
You gotta love to see it.
I don't, I think. I feel I do not.
I do. It's
Yeah,
great.
I bet. All right. Rorkalo says, I'm psyched to duel with you, and they are about to jump in to the final game of the 2023 fifth week MCS. Oh, I'm so excited. Former pro. Hey, whoa. His days of winning IRL, or you know what? He actually plays IRL too. I don't know what I'm talking about. Vlad wrote that title. Yell at him.
Good idea. All right. Can we get a run back of YCS
Oh,
Niagara?
Stella again. Wait a minute. I've seen this one.
I've seen this one before.
We got Maxi too? No. All right.
No Maxi this time.
Though Exosister going first. It's the exact same duel. Wait, it's
This
the
is
literal
we are
exact
watching
same
the same
duel.
duel.
Okay, well this time we can probably get a little farther, right? Yeah,
This
Cass
was,
Patel
like,
here is
old.
going to add an Exosister monster from deck to hand. So here we can go grab Martha.
Yeah, we can go get Martha here.
And then we can activate the Martha effect to get herself an Ellis. And then that will go into Magnifica. So at minimum, we will have that.
Yeah.
And though there is a response, it doesn't look like it's an Ash Blossom or a Maxi.
Right.
So you have to start
And-
thinking about what it could be.
I mean,
Could be
the
Dragon
worst
Dark?
part about playing Thunder Dragon is that you might just be sitting on a dark in hand.
Yeah. Ooh, be
just-
careful. It could be anything. You know?
It's always the most horrifying thing you're playing against on ladder, and you're like, oh god, which activation? And then at end step they go dark, and you go, oh,
Oh, right. Okay.
all right, I see.
Maybe you like make a suboptimal play around Maxi, and then you're like, oh, wow, I'm actually just bad
Exactly.
at the game.
No, it was just dark.
You ain't got to worry about Dark. Ellis and Martha, these two are good for each other. I ship these two, you know?
Ay. We ain't starting this discourse. Okay, detach. Probably go get Vadis, right, or Returnia.
Whichever one we're missing.
Yeah.
Really upset the chat is deciding to spam this copy pasta instead of Prages. They're Catholics, folks. I don't know, isn't dating your coworker problematic? Not if you're nuns. Well, not problematic with HR, but problematic with God.
Can we get some hashtag Fuji barbecues in chat? Yep, there's the Vadis.
Vadis looking pretty sick. I mean, again, we haven't gotten to see Vadis through an Ash Blossom yet, but if we
Yeah.
ever do, it will win the game on the spot. Is
That-
as
it has
close
been
as a
marked-
trap card can get to reading win the game.
Yeah. Set that Vadis immediately. Say boom. Watch out for my Returnia that I also
Do we got
drew.
one more? One more? You got one more?
Watch out for this Pax that I also drew. Ready to activate.
Oh, they're thinking. I wonder what they're thinking about. That's
Yeah.
that's the rough
What-
part about all this is always like, so what could they be thinking about?
Right. Because there's definitely something that we're deciding upon. But what could it be?
Could be like a cross out, and they're deciding if they want to set it or keep it in hand.
Ooh.
Like to counter Nibiru versus Ash Blossom on their Vadis. It is
Right.
Thunder Dragon Dark.
That is the dark. Okay, but what if you ash this? All right. Gonna let the resolve, of course. All right, there's the start of the turn. Will we see
Holding
a
and
draw?
draw.
Step
I
maxi?
can see that we're holding and draw
It's-
for some.
It's always draw
Could
step.
be any reason.
All right, stand by.
We have proceeded to
main
main,
phase.
so either we don't have Maxi or we are saying, if you draw triple tack, you draw triple tack. Allure of Darkness. Wow, an incredible start for Thunder Dragon.
Huge start. Will we see the banished roar? They always have it.
They're going to banish
Allure,
Dark.
banish. Yeah, I mean we could. Yeah, we can banish the dark. That is known. So
It is an Ash Blossom.
Ooh, there's the ash.
That's a hard one. It's a hard Ash to justify.
Right.
Because this isn't a playmaker, except that there's Dark, and you don't want them to get more chances at powerful cards like Evenly Matched. And they're going to get those chances anyway, apparently.
Well, I mean, what do you do?
And the whole thing about
Pot
Thunder
of
Dragon is
Greed
every card that isn't a Thunder Dragon or a powerful going second spell at this point is just a draw spell. Talking
Right.
upstarts, desires, allures. I mean, you're just going to see about 40% of your deck. Historically, that's why the deck was so good. It could find unsearchable power cards like Super Poly very easily.
Oh, there's the aforementioned upstart goblin.
And we're going for Thunder Dragon next. Let's see
That's
how many
pretty
got
good.
banished.
Well, if we could see it, I would love to figure it out, but okay. Second Thunder Dragon here.
Sometimes you just don't banish anything.
Yeah, it's just not hard. Just don't banish your Thunder Dragons.
What are you,
really.
stupid? Come on.
Just be. Yeah. What are you, dumb? Just.
And there's
I
the triple
knew it.
attack.
I was like,
as
there's
expected.
the triple attack.
To draw 2. Whoa.
Wow. Really?
That's a...
I was gonna say. I thought like maybe take was like just so powerful against Magnifica, right?
Take
Like
doesn't
because
target, does it?
even if they
Yeah.
they try to Xyz out, you just like you kind of just beat their whole board. But
All right, we
maybe
are
he
we are
needs engine,
prompting the Vadis here. We are saying, chain the Vadis, buddy. I drew the Ash Blossom. It says I'm not going to do it.
nope, they're holding it. Need those draws. Hey, I mean, drawing those two cards could be anything.
Literally anything. Go
Right.
Dragon Dark here. So this could represent a Colossus, but doing so puts you in a position where like there's a really good target for Magnifica, which there isn't always.
Right.
If you're Roarkalos, I think the reason you're so happy about this is now you don't have to worry about evenly matched. Oh, that's
Whoa.
interesting.
Hmm.
So
Goes in.
goes in against this deck is just kind of strange. You can still go through the entire Colossus line because it's dark, but
Right.
Titan is light.
Titan
And
is
it
light.
cuts off your ability to like normal summon a Thunder Dragon to get the dark off the field. So you have to go for a Lossus here, which puts you really dead to the on-field Magnifica.
Yeah.
It's one of those cards that like doesn't seem like it would have utility, but makes your opponent work in such a weird way that they usually end up letting you do it. And here you just let the Colossus live for as long as you want. Then you get to turn off their fusion until they pass turn, and you can fire off the Magnifica.
Yeah. No, you are definitely correct. You're just so happy if you're Roarkalos now. Your Magnifica's still online. Now you've kind of locked your opponent out from making Titan.
So you have to kind of think about like what they're trying to do here. So if they go combat, they go Thunder Dragon Colossus into the Magnifica. You let it happen. They go damage Matrix. That
Like
gets
Matrix,
over the
right, yeah.
Magnifica, and then like that sucks, right? That's awful.
Right.
If you let them go to battle and you banish the Colossus, that's good. You've dealt with it, but it means that in main phase 2 they can fire off a fusion and get to Titan.
True, but I mean, but then you just chain and make Michaelis, right?
Yeah.
And you have your banish again.
Yeah, you're right. And this is this isn't giving Fuji credit at all. I mean, his deck is full of powerful cards after, boarding, and he's drawn like half of it. Like I
Yeah.
expect he has some play from this position.
There could be something. I mean, Cosmics, we've seen Cosmics. We've seen ways to figure this out. If the board's empty, maybe he's on a Lightning Storm.
You might not even care about the
No.
goes in match. Yeah, I love it. So
Oh,
what we're doing here
this
is
was
we're
the play.
setting Thunder Dragon, just like
Yes.
Fiat Thunder Dragon. Then we can fire the fusion, shuffling back the Lossus and a bunch of the vanilla Thunder Dragons in order to make Titan. Then if we have a way to trigger Titan, we can go pop goes in match and tribute the set Thunder Dragon for the Lossus that is now back in the extra. Though I think Lossus can only you can only summon it once this way? No, of course not. Why would it say that?
No. You can summon it anytime.
Chain
Well,
Vadis here.
that is
So
the
here we'll see the
Vadis.
Ash Blossom out of Fuji.
Yeah,
I imagine you
there's
wouldn't do this
no
line if
way.
you didn't have it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Always had the Ash for this. And one of the most important things about Titan is that it does not target. So you have to really try and get ahead of it.
So did we set actually the dark? If we set a thing that is, we kind of have to set a thing that is not Thunder Dragon because we need the Thunder Dragon in hand to fire here.
Yeah, you're right. It must have
So
been
here you
like,
have to wait,
dark.
or I guess you don't have to wait. You can Magnifica
Could be.
here if you want, or you can wait for them to fire Thunder Dragon in order to chain to Titan.
Yeah. try to blank the Titan and say, okay, so they actually can blank Titan twice, right?
Yeah. So we are going to go for the
Ooh.
Magnifica. So I like this. Obviously, Thunder Dragon is spell speed 1, so there's no, like, you can't get into a weird position here. We're going to banish the Titan.
All right. Yep, that does get banished.
And it looks like we didn't even have a Matrix to protect or to threaten it.
Chain. Right.
So now we can go into the Lossus again, and it is not in danger of being banished. If we have a Matrix in hand, and we elected not to use it there, we can out the Magnifica, but I don't think we can beat the Machias.
Yeah, no, the Machias is key here. Just like we've been able to deal with almost everything except
So
that
close.
last
So devastatingly
tag out
close.
to banish.
Oh, end phase.
That's so rough.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And with no Lossus on field, it it feels like we are probably just donezo.
Yep.
Pax here are going to go ahead and grab a Martha. Do we have the second Ash Blossom? No. What are we bricking on?
Yeah, go get Martha.
We do have Ellis in Graveyard here, so we can special summon her. We elect not to. Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
We're going to
very
go
funny.
Martha here, summon herself and the Ellis. Then we can, like we did last time, Magnifica banish the Thunder Dragon Fusion to trigger the Martha. Last card in hand, Ellis, means that we can even use the two Ellises to overlay for Machias pre-Martha or pre-Magnifica activation. Oh, this is... Are we going Gibrine here? No, we're going
Definitely
Michaelius.
Michaelius, right? Yeah.
We have a response window.
Fuji has something. Don't know what it is. I mean, do we know if it's dark in hand? Doubt it.
We do know there's a dark in hand, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's probably dark.
It could be dark set.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking before, because it was like maybe dark set because they needed the Thunder Dragon to keep if they had the Titan.
Going Michaelius here, targeting the fusion.
No, we're gonna add the
Oh, no,
spell
we're going to
trap
add
first,
first.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no roar in graveyard.
This is a hard one. If the set card is Dragon Roar, it is a little bit of a problem.
Right.
Going combat here. I'm going to go Magnifica in. Let's see what it is. It is Roar.
It is roar. It is the roar.
So
Special
this
summon a
is
Thunder
gonna
Dragon
special
here.
a Thundra. Grab Matrix.
Matrix.
He's at 8. If he was a little lower, we would just have it. Go Magnifica here to banish? Or are we quick? They didn't activate anything, so it has to be banish.
Yeah.
Banishing Matrix.
Yeah, that's...
I'm going to go 28, 25, 16, Michaelius to banish Fusion, overlay, win. That's the line, but I mean, I guess we'll see if there's anything they can do from this position.
Right. Yeah, definitely seems like the winning play, and it looks like that's what Roarkalos is going to do.
Going Magnifica, Battle Fader. Could be Gores.
Could be Gores.
Michaelius, Martha. That puts them to 11.
Nib in battle phase. I agree. I think
Chatting.
that's a good choice.
Go Mycalius.
I agree.
We saw them target Thundra Fusion.
Yeah.
So we'll do that again. This triggers the on-field effect of Martha. Imperm here would
Martha.
stop it.
Imperm would be pretty good.
No, doesn't look like
Doesn't
it.
look like we had it. So curious on Fuji's hand that it was so rough that we needed to draw 2 instead of taking.
It's Gabrine.
There's Gabrine. That is 1,400 attack.
That's
And can
lethal.
I say, have you heard of our good friend YCS Niagara Falls MCS champion Roarkalos?
Oh my gosh. And I can't believe it. Exo Sister is the winning deck of this week's MCS. What an unbelievable run through a field chock full of Sprite and Runic and Branded just to end up facing down Thunder Dragon in finals. Oh my goodness.
They're saying let's go in the room.
I will say Roarkalos, she played out of her mind. Did absolutely
Out of her
well.
mind.
Every match that we watched. I will say, however, Fuji, I hope you enjoy the barbecue.
Enjoy the barbecue. You deserve it. Second place is nothing to be mad about.
Yeah, certainly not. Especially with a deck like Thunder Dragon.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for showing up. What an incredible evening that we've had here together. I had fun, Danny. I don't know about you.
I had a great time. I know it wasn't. We saw a lot of specific level 2 deck, but it was
did see
it
a
was
little bit of
fantastic
level 2
time
deck.
nonetheless.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess I would say Happy Women's History Month. Thank you for
Shout out to
joining me,
women.
Danny.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much
Thank you for having
to Coder and Rebby and all the staff behind this. And I hope you all have fun next week in what I believe is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck Cup.
What? What is going on in this replay?
So this is quite unfortunate. Send one Neospatian.
I definitely did not trip and fall off my chair.
Spirit of Neos, add Poly. I have not played against this at all.
Oh my god, I got a fucking Royal AFD!